This question says that the diagram shows two squares. Work out the area of the square shown shaded in the diagram. So as you can see, we have one square, and inside the square, there's another square inscribed. And in the corners, we have four identical right angle triangles. So find the area of the square inside the square. We'll first find area of the outside square. So that's going to be area of square, which is the unshaded one. This total length is 8, and this total length is also 8. So that's going to be 8 times 8, and that's 64 centimeters square. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of the four identical right angle triangles. So area of four triangles. So area of triangle is a formula of 1/2 times base times height. And we'll multiply 4 with this formula because we're trying to find the area of the four identical triangles. So that's going to be 1/2 times 3 times 5 times 4, and that's going to give us 30 centimeters square. Now to find the area of the shaded square, we can subtract these two areas, and that would give us the shaded area. So area of the shaded square, and that's going to be 64 minus 30, and that's going to be 34 centimeters square. That is your answer. Question 22 says, Natalie makes potato cakes in a restaurant. She mixes potato, cheese, and onion so that the ratio of weight of potato is to weight of cheese is to weight of onion is 2:2:1. Natalie needs to make 6,000 grams of potato cakes. The cost of cheese is 2.25 pounds for 175 grams. Work out the total cost of the cheese needed to make 6,000 grams of potato cakes. So the ratio that we have is, for the weight of potato, cheese, and onion, is 9:2:1. Since our focus is on cheese, let's first try to find how much cheese is being used to make 6,000 grams of potato cakes. So weight of cheese is going to be 2 over the sum of 9, 2, and 1 times the total weight of potato cakes, which is 6,000 grams. So that's 2 over 12 times 6,000, and that's going to give us 1,000 grams. So this is the weight of cheese being used to make the 6,000 grams of potato cakes. Now next is to find the cost. So 2.25 pounds is used to buy 175 grams of cheese. So 2.25 over 175 is going to be the cost of 1 gram of cheese. Now to find the cost of 1,000 grams, we will multiply this fraction by 1,000, and that's going to give us 12.86 pounds. Next question says that a water tank is empty. Anil needs to fill the tank with 2,400 liters of water. Company A supplies water at a rate of 8 liters in 1 minute 40 seconds. Company B supplies water at a rate of 2.2 gallons per minute. 1 gallon is 4.54 liters. Company A would take more time to fill the tank than Company B would take to fill the tank. How much more time? Give your answer in minutes, correct to the nearest minute. So let's first make separate columns for Company A and Company B. So we know that 8 liters is supplied at a rate of 1 minute 40 seconds at Company A. 8 liters is 1 minute and 40 seconds. So let's convert this time into minutes. So that's going to be 1 plus 40 divided by 60, which is going to be 1.67 minutes. So 8 liters are supplied in 1.67 minutes. Now, next what we need to do is we need to find the time at which the entire tank will be filled by company A. So what we'll do is, we know the formula for rate is going to be volume per minute. Rate is volume per minute, or like time, basically. So that's going to be 8 over 1.67, and that's going to give us 4.8 liters per minute. Now, to find the rate at which the entire tank will be filled, we will do 2400 divided by 4.8. And that will be equal to 500 minutes. This is the amount of time that it will take for company A to fill the tank. Now, for company B, they said that the rate was 2.2 gallons per minute. So we have to convert the gallons into liters first, because we're taking all of the other measurements in the first case in liters. So if 1 gallon is 4.5 liters, volume in liters, so that's going to be 2.2 times 4.54. And that will give us 9.988 liters per minute. Now, this is the rate at which company B will supply water per minute. Now, to find how much time it will take to completely fill the tank, what we will do is, we will divide the total volume, which is 2400, for the tank by the rate, which is 9.988 for company B, and that's going to equal 240.29 minutes. So we need to find how much more time company A takes. So that's going to be 500 minus 240.29, and that's going to give us 259.71, which can be rounded to 260 minutes. So that is your answer in minutes, correct to the nearest minute. Question 27 says the diagram shows a sector of OPQR of a circle, center O, and radius 8 centimeters. OPR is a triangle. Work out the area of the shaded segment PQR, giving your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So we'll begin with finding the area of the triangle. We will use the formula 1 over 2 times base times height, because it's a right angle triangle. So that's going to be 1 over 2 times 8 times 8. And that's going to give us 32 centimeters squared. Next, we will find area of the sector using the formula theta over 360 times pi r squared. So that's going to be 90, because that's the angle of the sector, over 360 times pi times 8 square, and that will give you 50.27 centimeter square. Now, to find the shaded area, we subtract the two values, and that will give you 18.27, which correct to 3 significant figures will be 18.3 centimeter square. That is your area of the shaded segment PQR. The diagram shows two right angle triangles ACB and DEB. AD is 9, DE is 2, and DB is 6. We have to calculate the length of CB, this entire thing. Did we get answer correct to two decimal places? So as you can see, we have two similar triangles. This is one triangle, and this is the other triangle. So keeping these two similar triangles in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to use the ratio of lengths to find the length of AC. We know that DE over AC should equal to DB over AB. Why? Because we have similar shapes. In similar shapes, your ratio of lengths are equal. So DE is given as 2. AC is what we have to find. DB is given as 6, and AB is going to be 9 plus 6. So 2 over AC equals to 6 over 15. So that's going to be 2 times 15 over 6 equals to AC, which is basically 5 centimeters. That is your length of AC. Now that we have AC, you can see that we can use Pythagoras to find the length of CB because we have the hypotenuse and we have the opposite. So we will do AB square equals to AC square plus CB square. 15 square equals to 5 square plus CB square. That is going to be 225 equals to 25 plus CB square. Then 225 minus 25 square root of CB, and that's going to give us 14.14 centimeters, correct to two decimal places. Question 12 says, work out the value of A and the value of N. So this is a question for indices, and first what we need to do is we need to realize which rule we need to apply over here. Now, whenever there's a power inside the bracket and outside the bracket, what we do is we multiply the powers. And if there's a coefficient attached to the variable, that means the power outside the bracket will be distributed on the coefficient as well. So the left-hand side would become A to the power of 1 over n times x to the power of 6 times 1 over n equals to 7x cubed. As you can see, I just split the quotient and variable to make it easier to understand what we're doing. And the power 1 over n got distributed on the coefficient and the variable. So A to the power of 1 over n times x to the power of 6 over n equals to 7x cubed. Now, since the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side, that means we can put the coefficients equal to each other and the variables equal to each other, which means A to the power of 1 over n is equal to 7. This is our first equation. And our second equation is going to be x to the power of 6 over n equals to x cubed. Now, since the bases are same, which is the variable x, what we can do is we can put the powers equal to each other. So 6 over 3 equals to n, and n equals to 2. That is your value of n. Now, what we can do is we can substitute that value over here. So A to the power of 1 over 2 is 7. And to find the value of A, we will square both sides so that we're able to get rid of the 1 over 2 on A. So A would equal to 49. So as you can see, A is 49 and N is 2. That is your answer. And this question says that pattern is made from 4 identical rectangles. The sides of the rectangles are parallel to the axis. Position A has coordinates 3, 4. B has coordinates 11, 20. And point C is marked on the diagram. Work out the coordinates of C. You must show all your working. So firstly, This is 4 over here, and this is 3. This over here is 20. This is 11, which means this part over here is going to be 20 minus 4, which is 16. And this difference over here will be 11 minus 3, which is 8. Now, next, what I would like to do is I would like to assume that this small rectangle, the small length of the rectangle is A, and the big one is B. And since the rectangles are identical, which means this part will be A as well, this part will be A, this will be B, this will be B, this will be B. Okay. So since we have two variables and we have to find the coordinates of C, we can create two sets of equations. First set of equation will focus on the vertical length, which means 16 will equal to A. So if we highlight this, A, B, and B. So 16 equals to A plus B plus B. So that is A plus 2B. That is your first equation. Then next, if we look at the horizontal part, we have B, we have B. And this part over here, A, gets subtracted because 11 stops over here. It's not the entire rectangle. So we will do B plus B minus A equals to 8. Because this and this is where we stop. So we subtract this A from here. So that's going to be 2B minus A equals to 8. This is your second equation. So now what we're going to do is we can just solve them simultaneously. 16 equals to A plus 2B and 8 equals to minus A plus 2B. If we add the two equations, 16 plus 8 equals to 4B. That's 24 equals to 4B and 6 equals to B. And for A, we can do 8 equals to negative A plus 2 times 6. That's 8 equals to negative A plus 12. And A will be 4. So since A is 4 and B is 6, so for the x coordinate of C, we'll add B to 3. So that's going to be 3 plus 6, and that's 9. For the y coordinate, we'll do 4 plus A. So that's 4 plus 4. That's going to be 8. So coordinates of C are 9, 8. That's your answer. Next question says that OABC is a trapezium. OA is given as A, AB is B, and OC is 3B. D is the point on OB such that OD is to DB is 2 is to 3. And E is the point on BC such that BE is to EC is 1 is to 4. 1, 4, 2, 3. Work out the vector DE in terms of A and B. So we know that OD is to DB is 2 is to 3. So let's first find OB. OB is going to be OA plus AB. That's going to be A plus B. Since OD and DB lie on OB, so we can say that OD is going to be 2/5 of A plus B. And DB is going to be 3/5 of A plus B, which is OB. Similarly, BE is to EC is 1 is to 4. So let's first find BC. BC is going to be BA plus AO plus OC. That's going to be negative B because you've changed the direction now. Negative A because once again the direction is changed. And then plus 3B. So that's 2B minus A for BC. So now we can find BE, which is going to be 1/5 of BC. That's 2B minus A. And EC is going to be 4/5 of BC. So that's 4/5 times 2B minus A. We have to find vector DE. So for vector DE, which is this, what we can do is we can go from D to O, O to C, or C to E, or you can go from D to B and B to E. So I'm going to use the other direction. I'm going to go from D to B and B to E. So DE will be DB plus BE. DB is 3/5 of A plus B. And BE is 1/5 of 2B minus A. So 3A minus A is 2A, and 3B plus 2B is 5B. So we can further simplify this as 2A over 5 plus B. That is your vector DE. Next question says that ABC is a triangle. D is the point on BC such that BAD and angle DAC is equal to X, and they're basically equal to each other. Prove that AB over BD equals to AC over DC. So for this, I would use the sine rule. If we use the sine rule, we can say that BD over sine of X equals to, now the other ratio should include the length that is given in the question over here. So we can say that AB, so AB over this angle Y. So let's call this sine of Y. So what we have over here now is sine Y over sine X equals to AB over BD. Now, if you look at the other triangle, this one, for the other triangle, we say that this angle is 180 minus 5 because BC is a straight line. And if this angle is Y, this would be 180 minus 5. So we'll say DC over sine X equals to AC over sine of 180 minus 5. Now over here, you need to remember a rule that sine Y is the same as sine of 180 minus Y, which means over here, we can replace sine 180 minus Y with sine Y. Both have the same value. So now if we cross multiply, sine of Y over sine of X equals to AC over DC. And if you put the sine Y over sine X equal for both the equations, we can see that AB over BD is the same as AC over DC. And that is your answer. This question says that Pat throws a fair coin n times. Find an expression in terms of n for the probability that Pat gets at least one head and at least one tail. So firstly, the probability of getting a tail is 1 over 2 because the coin has two sides. So there's an even chance of getting a tail and a head. The probability of getting a head is also going to be 1 over 2. Now, if you're tossing the coin 2 times, the probability of getting a head and head would be 1 over 2 times 1 over 2. That's 1 over 4. And the probability of getting a tail both times is going to be also 1 over 2 times 1 over 2, which is 1 over 4. And now if we toss the coin 3 times, the probability of getting a head in all 3 times is going to be 1 over 2 times 1 over 2 times 1 over 2, which is 1 over 8. And the probability of getting a tail all 3 times is going to be 1 over 2 times 1 over 2 times 1 over 2 again, which is 1 over 8. Now, if you're wondering why we're finding the probability of all heads, all tails 2 times and 3 times, even though the question says Pat gets at least one head and at least one tail each time when the coin is tossed. In order for us to find different combinations for getting a head or a tail each time, it's easier to find the probability of all heads and all tails and then subtract that from 1 to get the probability of what we're trying to find. So we would do 1 minus 1 over 4 for the 2 times. That would be 1 minus 1 over 4. And for the third time, we would do p equals to 1 minus 1 over 8. So if we compare the two, we can see that it's basically 1 minus 1 over 2 raised to the power of 2 over here and 3 over here. So basically, for n times, it would be 1 minus 1 over 2 to the power of n. We don't know what the value of n is. It can be any number of times. So what we need to do is we need to raise the probability of getting a head or tail to the power of how many times the coin is being tossed, and then subtract that from 1 to get the probability of getting at least one head and at least one tail. So to get the probability of getting at least one head and one tail, we will do probability of 1 minus 1 over 2n minus 1 over 2n, which is basically going to be 1 minus 2 times 1 over 2 whole power n. That is your final expression. Once again, the reason we're subtracting 1 over 2n twice is because we have to subtract the probability of getting all heads and the probability of getting all tails. So when you subtract that, the remaining probability is going to be whether we get at least one head and at least one tail. So this is your answer.